What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today's video is going to be what if Naruto was an Otsutsuki part 3. So the last time where we left off was Naruto begged Minato if he can have his own Kyuubi. Minato said yes, and Naruto then made his own Kyuubi. And this is where I'm going to do the 3-year time skip, as Mito goes with Jiraiya and Menma stays with her mom and dad, as Tsunade was going to train Menma, as so were her parents, as they didn't wonder what Naruto was going to do, because he's technically the most strongest person in the world already. So this is when Naruto said, "I will just train my Kyuubi." So I'm thinking, well, if that's what you want to do, then go ahead. As we do a 3-year time skip to when Naruto is, 16. I'm trying to keep this as canon as possible, like a little bit canon and not, but yeah. So this is when, this is when Mito comes back a week later, how Naruto comes back in canon, but Naruto isn't there yet, as Mito was wondering where was her youngest brother at, as they were. Okay, guys, I'm back. I think someone knocked on my door, I don't know, but as Mito was wondering where was her youngest sibling was, as Kushina was kind of worried, but Minato told them to calm down. He'll probably be coming in a week or so, as Naruto didn't come back until 2 months later. So yeah, that's when Naruto came back. And when he came back, it was about, the time was 6:53, and Naruto knows that his dad was supposed to be at the Hokage office by this time. So to wake his dad up, he burst his chakra around the whole world. Yes, the whole world felt it. So everyone felt Naruto's chakra burst, because he's been learning how to control his chakra, as he was holding his chakra inside Naruto. Then as Minato then falls off the bed that he was in, and he starts checking if he is dead, because this chakra burst came out of nowhere, and he's guessing that must mean Naruto was dead. But this is when Minato checked, and he checked that he was still alive. So he thought that. So Minato then said in his mind, "Phew, I guess this means Naruto isn't dead after all." I was worried there for a second, as Minato then goes downstairs into his backyard, because that's where Naruto was. As Minato then says, "Naruto, what are you doing? It's early in the morning." This is when Naruto then says, "Hello, father. You were supposed to have been at work by this time. Why are you not at the office?" As Minato was like, "Oh yeah, right. I guess I overslept." So, Minato gets ready, and he quickly goes to the Hokage office. Now, this is where, and Jiraiya and Tsunade, they were there, like they were there when it happened. So yeah. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering about Orochimaru, he knows about Naruto, but he doesn't know how to get him on his side, since he knows that it won't be easy to bring the Hokage's son over to his side. Because, since Naruto is an Otsutsuki, he must know everything about the world. So, well, at least this is what, Orochimaru thinks, since he's an Otsutsuki. He knows more than anybody. He even knows the things that's beyond living things. So, yeah. And now, they all gather around. They have a group hug. Jiraiya, Tsunade, Mito, Menma, Kushina all hug Naruto. This is when Jiraiya then asks, "Where's the tailed beast that you made, Naruto?" And Naruto then says, "Oh, he is outside of the Konoha gates. Would you like to see him?" As they then say, "Sure." As they see this, sleeping outside of the Konoha gates, as the guards were kind of scared, but Naruto said that it won't hurt anybody unless he tells him to. So yeah. So this is when, Naruto starts walking around. This is when he goes into the Uchiha compound. Naruto then says, "Sasuke, how have you been? You too, Itachi. Are you okay?" As, Itachi and Sasuke say they're good. And, Naruto, as after that, Naruto then sees Fugaku, and Naruto says, "Hello, Fugaku, are you off to work?" As Fugaku says, yes, Naruto, I am." "Well, see you later, Naruto." As Naruto then tells Fugaku, "Yes, see you later, Fugaku." Naruto is now with Sasuke in his room talking. They're just talking about stuff and how they can get stronger. As after that, Naruto then asks Sasuke, "Would you like to train?" Sasuke then says, "Naruto, you always ask to train. You know you're going to win. Why do you keep asking?" As Naruto then smiles a little bit, saying, because I know how. As he then says, "Because to check if I'm not rusty, to check if my skills aren't rusty." Naruto then says, as Sasuke then says, "Naruto, your clan is full of, Naruto, you know what your clan is like. So why do you ask me to train?" Naruto then says, "I guess I like to feel human sometimes," knowing full well that he isn't human. And that he is another worldly being that was just born by a human. So this is when Naruto tells Sasuke something that Minato, Itachi, or no one else knows. He tells Sasuke that he's been feeling something towards other people, as he also feels something towards you. As Sasuke thinks maybe he's in love or something, but this is when he remembers his clan and thinks, "Naruto, I think you're power hungry." As Naruto eyes whiten and says, but I don't want to be like them." Naruto is scared because he knows that his clan is power hungry. All they want to do is take things from other people and gain more power. So if that's how Naruto is feeling right now, he thinks that. This is when he then says, "Sasuke, do you think I should leave the village?" As Sasuke then says, "No, if you do, someone will try and capture you or most likely kill you. No matter how strong you are." I think that's what some people may want. As Naruto then says, "I know, but this is hard. To be someone in the world that you know that you don't belong in." because Naruto feels like he knows he's different, but he feels like he's more different than other people. Like other people have to do hand signs, in which he doesn't. He just has to see it and do it one time, and that's it. And so Naruto is feeling kind of lonely because, so this is when, so back to, so yeah, that's kind of it. So then Naruto and Sasuke, they start talking more about, how Naruto is feeling towards, how Naruto is feeling. But somewhere else, in another dimension, this is when someone goes up to someone who is in the throne and he says, "What's the problem?" As he then says, "Your Majesty, I felt something odd coming from one of the dimensions that Asuki's." I'm sorry, guys. Let me do something real quick. He then says, "I felt something where Otsutsuki's normally go to, and when they do go there, they don't come back." As the king then says, "What did you feel?" "I don't know. I felt some sort of power, very strong power. Power that rivals you, Your Majesty." As the king then stands up and, he kicks him. As he then says, "Do you think I'm a fool? No one in this entire universe, in this entire dimension, can rival my power. Do you understand?" As the guy or the guard then says, yes, Your Majesty." Then this is when the king says, "Go get Ryu. Go get Rai." As Rai is the son of the Lord of... Rai is the son of the Lord who, like the Lord of the Utsutsukis, he helps the king with, with stuff that, like, he helps him plan wars, helps the king get stuff together. That's who he's the son of. That's Rai. So this is when Rai is now in the king of Otsutsuki's chamber and says, "Your Majesty, is there something wrong?" As he then says, "Rai, I want you to go to the restricted dimension." As he then says, "Which one, Your Majesty?" "Number 13. As he knows that number 13 dimension is the worst dimension, because if you go to that one, you're not coming back. He heard of the stories of when Utsutsukis go there, they don't come back. As he was scared, and he then says, "Uh-oh, okay, Your Majesty." As he doesn't really want to go there, but since his king told him to, and he kind of doesn't really have a choice, he goes there. As the first thing he was thinking, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's just something that happened by accident. So Rai gets there and he starts to feel a surge of power coming from the left of him. As he then goes there and he sees Konoha. As he then flies, and he is now in the center, well, kind of at the front gates, but like he's beyond the front gates of Konoha, looking down on everyone. As someone then looks up, and then someone yells out, "Hey, up there!" As many other people start looking up and they start talking, wondering. Sorry, guys. So where I left off was people were starting to talk where Rai was, as the guards look up to see that there is someone floating above them. As Minato then comes to, in to the village where they see that they saw a man floating because one of the envoy came and told him that. As you know, Minato, Minato, Minato is wondering who this is, as he then goes up to this person and asks, "Who are you?" As Raiden looks at this person, and Raiden starts floating down to on top of a building to where Minato is, but he's across him. Like, think of it as they're a building apart, like another building is in front of them. So yeah, no, like a house is in front of them. So yeah, they're like kind of another building apart. So yeah. So this is when Raiden asks, "Are you the leader of this place?" As Minato then says, "Yes, I am. Is there a problem here?" As he then realized that he has the same he has the same pale skin and eyes and horns like Naruto. So he then says, so Minato then asks, "Who are you?" As Raiden says, "I am Otsutsuki, and you are." As not as Minato's eyes whitened because he wasn't expecting to see someone like Naruto here. Actually, Minato was just hoping that this was a genjutsu because someone saw what Naruto looked like, so they wanted to look like Naruto or something. As he then says, I'm Minato Namikaze." Minato stutters to Rai, as Raiden says, "What is this place where all you creatures gather up on?" As you know, Minato was a little offended by this because even though he knows that this guy is a high-ranking being and stronger than him, what right does he have to call them a weaker being? So Minato says, "This is my village. Since you don't come from here, you are the unknown intruder. And if you don't mind, you may want to ask you, why are you here?" As Raiden says, "Well, I came here in search of a power that I felt coming from this dimension, and I would like to know what, and I would like to know where is it? Where is it?" As Minato then remembers Naruto, as he then starts to look back on his life with Naruto and how he raised him and been training him. As Minato then says, "I don't know what you're talking about." Rai then gets mad because he feels like this human is lying to him. He then says, "Are you lying, insect?" Minato then says, "No, why would I lie? And I am not an insect. I am a human, or you can just call me Minato." As Raiden says, "Sure, human. Now, tell me, where is that power coming from?" Minato then says, "I don't know what you're talking about." As, you know, Rai starts to get mad because he knows that whoever this person is, he's lying, and he doesn't want, and Rai knows that this person is lying, so he's hiding it from him. And Minato is thinking, if he finds Naruto, then then Naruto is in big trouble. As, you know, Minato then says, "Rai, if you don't mind, I may need to talk to my village, if you don't mind." As Raiden says, "No, I don't. speak all you like. As you know, Minato says that this person comes in peace, but he tells his envoy to keep their guard up. As he then tells an envoy that as he tells an envoy that he takes an envoy to like his he takes an envoy to the Hokage office and says find Naruto and keep him safe and tell him wherever he is, make sure he does not leak out his chakra any more than he does, or put his chakra to where it's more human like. As the envoy goes and they go find Naruto, and the envoy that he told this to was Susui, and Susui knows where Naruto is. He's with Sasuke. As you know, Naruto and Sasuke, they're training. As now, as you know, as Susui then comes up in the middle of their training and says, Naruto, Sasuke, listen, there is an intruder. As Sasuke then says, what? Don't we need to fight them? As Susui then says, don't worry. No, and he then looks at Naruto. As Susui then looks at Naruto and says, Naruto, this person that's the intruder is a part of your clan. Your father told me to make sure that you keep your chakra as low as possible. Put it down to where a human's level is or lower. As Naruto then says, oh, okay. Because Naruto wasn't expecting that. Naruto wasn't expecting for someone to come to this place, to come to him. He wasn't expecting one of his clan members, so Naruto is kind of trapped in Konoha, so he can't really escape. So Minato then says, okay, how about we both, as Minato approaches Rai, as Rai then says, are you done talking to this place you call a village? As Minato isn't that much offended by this, but he then says, yes, I'm done talking to my village. As Rai then says, the chakra that I then felt is gone. Would you like to enter why? As Minato then says, I don't know what you're talking about. As Rai quickly, because Rai is an Otsutsuki, he's faster and stronger than a human. As he then quickly goes up to Minato and starts lifting him up and choking him, saying, you're lying. Tell me where it is, or these people that you call villagers are going to have to die. Because, Otsutsukis, they don't care about anyone's well-being or, people at all in general. They don't even care about each other. As Minato then says, I don't know what you're talking about. As now, Raiden says, fine then. If you won't show me, then I'll have to make it appear myself. So I will destroy this whole village in front of your eyes and make you watch. As he then throws Minato high up in the air. As, this is when Rai starts hitting people. He's like the ninjas the envoy, they start to attack Rai as he then starts killing every single person in the village. As Rai is about to kill a little girl, because as Rai is now about to kill a little girl who is a Uchiha, as Naruto then comes up out of nowhere and stops him from punching her with his fist. As Rai then says, so you're the person that rivals our king. As Minato, as you know, Sasuke hears this and he quickly goes off to tell someone. As just as Minato was about to land on the ground, Jiraiya then saves him. And Jiraiya asks, who's that guy? This is when Minato then says, I don't know, but apparently he's a part of Naruto's clan. This is when Sasuke then goes to Minato and he tells what happened, and he told him what happened, and apparently Rai now knows about Naruto, and he was sent here by someone who he knows as his king. So this is when Minato quickly goes to the Uchiha compound and says, Rai Otsutsuki. Rai Otsutsuki, why are you here? Naruto says this. And he says, I'm here because I'm looking for you. Unlike you rival our king. As Minato is hearing this conversation, and he's wondering who is their king. As Naruto then says, if that's so, then what's stopping me from decapitating your head right now? Because Minato, hearing Naruto saying that he's going to decapitate this person's head, knowing that Naruto usually won't say that nor do that, or he won't even mention kill someone. He will actually try and calm them down, or talk with them, or if he has to fight, then he'll fight and knock them out. He won't kill someone unless he really has to. So this is when Minato gets into the conversation and says, Rai, leave now. As Raiden says, what puny human tells, as Raiden says, as Rai quickly stands up straight and quickly goes to Minato without Naruto even noticing and kicks Minato, saying, what puny human like you tells me what to do? Now Naruto is mad, and this is when a fight breaks out between him and Rai. As people are watching them both fight, and Jiraiya is amazed by this because he never seen a fight like this ever. But he knows that if this fight keeps up, then something bad is going to happen in the village because of this fight. As you know, Naruto landed a lot of punches on. He landed a few punches on. Well, Naruto has landed a few punches on Rai, and Rai, he can barely even touch Naruto. And when he is about to hit Naruto, Naruto blocks or quickly just teleports away and ends up hitting Rai. As Naruto now has his Rinnegan Sharingan activated, as Rai eyes widen because the only one who has ever had this type of Sharingan is the king. But it's never been red, it's always been purple, or a sort of type of purple. As Raiden says to Naruto, yes, you truly rival our king. As Naruto then says, too bad, you won't be able to see your king again. As soon as he's about to hit Rai, his mother then steps in and says, Naruto, stop, this isn't like you. As Naruto then calms down a little bit, but Rai does something sneaky and stabs Kushina, because Naruto landed Rai right in where he landed Rai in the weapon shop, because that's how hard he punched Rai. Well, how hard he kicked Rai into the ground, because they were both in the sky, and Naruto just kicked him into the ground. As Rai then stabs Kushina with a kunai, and Kushina is bleeding. As she then says, Naruto. But for Naruto, this was Rai's last straw, because he actually wanted, because now that his mom was able to calm him down, he's no longer going to be calm. Now Naruto is mad. He's angry. As Naruto activates, he then activates his Bakugan, even though he activates his Bakugan, even though he's not well a Hyuga. As he then does an Hyuga technique. So he does the Hyuga 64 palms technique, and this kind of hits Rai in all his vital points, but it doesn't stop him from using his chakra, as Rai then also uses his Bakugan, and now they're surprised that these people, that Naruto has a Bakugan, and Rai also has one as well. As Jiraiya then says in his mind that this really is a fight of the ages, huh? So, oh yeah, and Tsunade, she when Naruto punched Rai right in the face, leaving Kushina to fall on the ground. Tsunade caught her, and she brought her to the nearest hospital, and she started healing her. So just in case y'all was wondering, Kushina is still gonna be alive, and she's gonna be okay, kinda. So this fight has been going on for a while. Rai has got like a few hits on Naruto, but Naruto is getting way more hits than Rai, as Rai is thinking he can't stay here any longer. He needs to go back. As Rai then sees that these people are doing something with their hand. As he then sees that these people made a clone, and they all start running at Rai. As Rai then sees if he can do the same thing. As he then does a shadow clone jutsu, but he does the same thing, but he doesn't need his hands to do this. He just does it, and these shadow clones go for the Anru that made clones as well, and one of them also goes for Naruto. And Rai just keeps making more shadow clones until Rai and most of his clones go into the forest. As Naruto starts tearing down the whole forest because of Rai. Oh yeah, and because Naruto went, kind of berserk, this woke up the 12-tailed beast, and it also started attacking Rai. So they're both looking for Rai, as Rai then appeared, and he stabbed his hand straight through Naruto, and Naruto then hits Rai with his elbow and punches him into the ground, as he then realizes that this was a shadow clone. And then this is when he sees Rai going through a portal, and this is when Naruto quickly rushes all the way to the portal, but he doesn't make it in time. Rai escapes with his life. Now Naruto is mad because he let the enemy escape, and so now Naruto is causing more havoc than he is doing good. as Jiraiya is trying to calm Naruto down, and Minato. This is when Naruto's two sisters come, and Tsunade, as they all try and contain him, and Mito tells Naruto to calm down, as she then hugs Naruto, and Naruto stops using his Bakugan, and he calms down. But using all of his chakra and stuff, Naruto then he faints. He goes to sleep kind of because he used all of his chakra fighting Rai. I'm gonna pause real quick. Okay, guys, I'm back. So Rai just got his butt kicked by Naruto, and Naruto is now in the hospital next to his mom, because he she kind of knows that Naruto.
That blackout bingo is a for show.
Sorry about that video, guys. It's just, ads, stupid. Sorry about that. And I don't feel like doing this again because listen, guys, I done did this 3 times. This is my 4th time trying to do this. It's rather I got interrupted or an ad or something came up and I couldn't do it. So, yeah. Or my phone turned off and, why it wasn't paused, it just happened. Like, the whole thing just ended. So, yeah. I'm trying to keep this as long as possible. So, yeah. So, Rai reports to the king saying, there is another Otsutsuki in in dimension 13. He has this weird thing. It looks like yours, but it's red, Your Highness. And his power really does rival yours. As the king is intrigued by this, because he thinks maybe, because the king has been letting some of his chakra out, but he thinks maybe this is his reincarnation when he dies. Maybe that's why it has so much power. As, Naruto, it's not because Naruto is his reincarnation. Naruto is no one's reincarnation. He's his own person. But so the king is kind of, hold on, guys. Sorry about that. My phone was doing something, so I had to cancel it. So the king is intrigued that an Otsutsuki is able to has something new, and since he has it, he's thinking that this will make him and his future and the future kings and queens who will be born in the future much stronger. Or it's rather that, or he just wants to take it from Naruto. He wants Naruto's power. So this is when a shadow clone of Rai, who is still alive. There were 3 that were still alive. One just, disappeared. Bro, for real, knock.
I don't knock on.
Okay, guys, I am back, and I got rudely interrupted by one of my sisters again. Yeah, if y'all know how I feel, then comment down below, because to be interrupted by a sibling is annoying. So, Naruto.
I'm not.
Okay, guys, I am back. So, that was my sister rudely interrupting me again. Sorry if I'm pausing a lot in this video. It's just because of my siblings are being annoying right now. So, sorry about that. Back to where I was. The king was interested in Naruto, but to where Naruto is now. Naruto has just woken up after 2 weeks of being in the hospital. his mom was in a coma. No, Naruto was asleep for 4 weeks. Kushina was in a coma for 3 weeks. So So this is when Kushina then asks Naruto. She asks Naruto, Naruto, are you okay? What's wrong? Because Naruto kind of woke up, kind of scared. Also, Naruto is feeling, even though his chakra is being replenished by his body, he's feeling more power hungry than he was before. As he tells his mom about this, and as she then says, okay, you need more rest, so go to sleep. So Kushina tells Minato, and they say that they're going to need volunteers, people with high chakra level, to replenish Naruto's chakra. Oh yeah, just to let y'all know, within the weeks that Naruto and Kushina were asleep, Rei's clones have all been dispersed because they were kind of looking for them. And this is when Rei sended in another clone, and he said that his king and many others will come to this dimension, and they are going to kill you all. So so everyone's kind of worried and they're all kind of blaming Naruto, because if it wasn't for him being an Otsutsuki or him being here, then they wouldn't have to deal with this. So people are kind of mad at this, but it's whatever. Minato thinks, should he summon all the other Hokages to Konoha and tell them about this. He doesn't know, but so he just shrugs it off. So when Naruto is being told that a few amount of people are coming to Konoha, people are going to be coming to you, and they will volunteer to give you chakra, Naruto. As he then says yes, okay. And Minato then tells him about the war that's about to happen, and if they can, they'll try to avoid it. But if not, then we're going to need you to fight Naruto. As Naruto still says okay. So now we go to where. So we go a whole month and a half later. Naruto has been training, or the other ninjas have been training, even though they know that the training they're doing isn't going to be enough. Like, they know how strong Otsutsukis are, so they know that no matter how hard they train, it won't be enough. So even if this does go out completely wrong, at least they know they did something right. So now Naruto is. So this is when the king goes through the portal, and he sees a whole bunch of people in Konoha. They're shopping and all that, doing things. As no one knows that the king's there. He's put them all under a genjutsu. Not like he does have the Rinnegan, but he doesn't have it that. He doesn't have it that he's using it for evil. He's just using it to make it look like him, and to make it look like that he's a human, not just some person that not in the Otsutsuki. So this is when the king then goes to the Hokage office, and he sees this person and a few other people. And this is when Minato then asks, hello, and you are? This is when the king of the Otsutsuki, then take off his hood, and he takes off his hood, well, his cloak, and undoes the and undo and undoes the genjutsu and says, "I'm the king of the Utsutsukis, and I'm guessing you are Minato Namikaze, correct?" As not as he's impressed that this guy was able to go through his. He's surprised that that this guy was able to go through his village being untested, but it kind of makes sense seeing how he's the king. So this is when Minato then says, "Yes, I am Minato Namikaze, and I'm guessing you are the king of those Suskis, like you just said." But this is where I'm gonna be kind of ended it off, guys. There will be a part 4 coming out, so yeah. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.